you guys doing? Good, good.
Geno, if you want to improve as a passer, you can work on passing. If you want to get stronger, you can lift weights. But as a quarterback, from a quarterback perspective, how do you develop pocket presence? Because that looks like an area here later in your career that's really improved, and there's obviously still always room to grow too.
Yeah, I think in order to develop pocket presence, it just takes a lot of drill work. Our coach, quarterback coach, Dave Canales, and even Austin Davis, they take us through a ton of drills, and Coach Carroll likes to show it during the team meetings. Just how those things show up, and so all the drill work that we do during the week, those things show up on game day. And obviously, there's ways to improve and things that I can improve on as well. With the pocket presence. But overall, it's just a ton of drill work and just, repping over and over and over.
Is that one of those things, too, by experience, if a guy comes free and hits you behind you, to know something, maybe that helps with the development, too?
Yes, of course. And we also talk about, like, the depth of your drops, in the pocket and making sure you're not too deep because, obviously, it makes it tougher on the tackles and things like that. So, being mindful of how deep you're getting on your drops as well as just, climbing up into the pocket as well.
What did your phone look like Monday night, Tuesday morning?
Oh man, a lot of old friends, a lot of old coaches were texting me, and it was all positive stuff. And I think people were really excited and just happy for me overall.
You get a record deal yet for your bars?
Not yet. Looking out for it though.
Hey, it's Pete's birthday, obviously today.
Yes.
You've been here 4 years now. What did you learn from him the most? Like the biggest thing?
Well, first of all, shout out Coach Carroll. Happy birthday, Coach Carroll. And one thing that I've learned from Coach is just that mindset. Having that positive mindset. Always believing in yourself, believing in the guys around you, and then positive self-talk. Coach Carroll is one of the best coaches I've ever had, and I think one of the reasons is because he's so positive in that he truly believes, that anything's possible. And just having a guy like that, continuing to push us and having us compete every day, as well as just being positive, it's awesome.
Your "I ain't right back" statement got a lot of attention. Can you take us through again, kind of the words into that? I mean, you thought that up on the spot, or?
Yeah, that was just spur of the moment, and it really just means I didn't respond or I didn't pay attention to anything that was said. But the wording and all that type of stuff just kind of came to me, and really was just spur of the moment.
Monday was an emotional night. How do you kind of put those emotions aside now and focus on the 49ers and make sure that Monday night wasn't, the emotional high of the season?
Well, that's a good question. And, for us, and me especially, I just went back to work the next day, got right into the weight room and jumped right into San Fran and just diving into work. That's the great thing about, being in the NFL. Is every week is a championship week, and, you're always going to have a tough opponent. And, it's not about what you did last week. It's what you do in the present moment. And so for us, it's about, like you said, not riding that emotional high and just continuing to focus on the work and the process, and then, as the games come along, expecting to win, and then just getting back to work.
49ers defense and their front seven in particular, a lot of weapons there. How do you attack a defense like that?
You gotta goes back to what he said about working the pocket and being really strong in the pocket. They have a great front seven. They have a great defense overall, and another test for us as an offense is going to test our offensive line, going to test our running backs and protections. And so, really for us, it's doing what we do best, controlling what we control, and playing our game, but also being mindful that they do have a lot of great guys on that side.
What's the challenge in the balancing act between taking shots downfield and then just sort of taking what the defense gives you and kind of, I guess trying to make sure you do take some shots at times, but
yeah.
Also trying to be careful with the ball?
Yeah, the main thing is just, like you said, taking what the defense gives you, whether it's downfield, intermediate, or in the short game. In this previous game, they were playing, more of a shell defense, so they weren't going to allow us to take shots. And it's best that we don't try and force those things, and we just stay efficient and stay on schedule, and, you can win that way as well. And so it's just really about what the defense is giving you, the looks they're giving you, the leverage, and all that type of stuff.
What flexibility does the three tight ends give your offense?
Yeah, those guys have done an amazing job, and they all, have a tremendous skill set. And so what they give us is the opportunity to, switch up personnels and still be able to run the same type of offense and still be effective. So when you got guys like Noah, who, is a tight end hybrid / receiver, he's got speed, he's got hands, he's got routes, as well as Kobe Parkinson, and Will Dissly the same. You can line up in a multitude of formations and, different personnels and still be able to run your same offense.
How often have you run 3 tight ends at one time in your career?
We've done it a bunch. And it's more so in the NFL, the game than it is in college. And I think it's really effective if you got the right guys and you can, you kind of manipulate some of the calls to the defense.
You said after the game, people maybe forgot you could run or whatever. Have you been timed in the 40 lately? Are you as fast as you were when you were at West Virginia or anything?
I don't know. I haven't timed the 40, anything like that. I still feel fast. I still feel like I'm moving pretty fast out there. So, people might have forgotten I can run or might not have. I just, said that. But I still feel pretty good out there when I'm running.
You took a couple big hits on those back-to-back runs. How did you feel Tuesday morning?
I felt pretty good. I was in the weight room. I was just hitting the weights and, kind of got back to my routine. I've never been a guy who's gotten extremely sore after games. I don't know if that's adrenaline or just, being used to taking hits and just playing and stuff like that. So I felt pretty good after the game, and, hopefully that continues.
Passer rating has its flaws as a stat, but 4 of your best 10 passer rating games of your career have come in your last 4 starts here. Does that kind of speak to some of the progression you feel you've made as a passer through the years and your handling of the position?
I think it could be or it could not be. I don't know. I think that's a kind of a stretch to say that, but I do realize that I've been more consistent lately, and the passer rating and all that type of stuff. You don't really want to look too far into that because the wins are what matter. But I think it just comes from consistently taking completions and trying to keep the team on schedule and just doing the right things.
What was the difference in the offense in the first half and the second half on Monday?
I think the difference between our offense in the first half and the second half was, the number of possessions. I think we only had about 3 possessions in the second half. Obviously, we didn't convert the third downs that we were converting in the first half, as well as, had a penalty that kind of stalled our drive there. So overall, I just think it was the lack of possessions and then some things that we could have executed a lot better. I could have stepped up in the pocket and really protected our tackle, Charles Cross. But, both of those guys did a great job in the game. And, I think if I step up a little bit more in the pocket there, may not take that sack and may not get hit.
How are you supposed to know that pressure is coming when you've got your back turned to it? I mean, people talk about having a feel for that, but how do you actually feel it when you can't see it?
It's tough. That's the hard part about playing quarterback is that, you don't have eyes in the back of your head. But what I can do is, like I said, step up in the pocket and just make sure that when I am taking my drops, I'm not too deep to where they get an edge on our tackles and have that, opportunity to come around there.
You're going into the West Virginia Hall of Fame. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I know it means a lot to my family. Just going to college, was a big thing for me. And obviously, had a lot of great memories there. And, just to be honored in this way is extremely special to me.
Did you train with DK on the offseason his rookie year before he got to the season?
Yeah, we had a couple sessions. He was down there training with this, receiver coach guru type of guy, and got a chance to meet him. And I was impressed from the very first day I met him. And we always kind of connect in the off season ever since then.
Besides how big he was, what else maybe stood out about him when you first met him?
Just his suddenness, and the, big guys like that really rarely do they move the way he does or have the quick twitch and the footwork that he has. And so just for, a guy to be that big, that explosive, and to be able to shut it down the way that he does, I think it's rare.
Anything else? Thank you.
One more thing, man. Shout out Jamal Adams, man. Praying for a speedy recovery. Need you back.